Hello everybody and welcome to a new Zoo Tycoon scenario Let's Play for the next scenario, which today is Marine Mania Free Admission Intermediate Difficulty. It says, you have been selected to operate a new experimental zoo. It is important to the zoo's founders that you offer free admission to the public. However, you still need to make money to keep the zoo operational. The only way you can do this is to obtain money in other ways, such as concession sales. In order to prove that this sort of zero admission zoo can last, you need to generate $50,000 in 18 months. Good luck. So, yeah, essentially, again, I've not done this scenario in years, so I don't remember how difficult it is. I get the feeling it's actually rather difficult. We have 18 months to earn a net income of $50,000. I'm not entirely sure how that works, because is that net income as in like revenue, or is it like profit? And also I don't know how you actually calculate that unless it says it in the actual zoo finances, which I'll look at in a bit. We also only start with $20,000, so I think that basically means that we need to have at least $70,000 after the 18 months, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out as we play the scenario. Exhibit at least 3 zoo animals, 4 marine animals, and 7 different animal species. Notice it says animals, not species, so we can actually do like 6 of one and 1 of the other. So we could do like 6 zoo exhibits and 1 marine, or we could do 6 marine and 1 zoo. But we do need at least 3 zoo animals and 4 marine animals. When it says marine, it just means animals from Marine Mania that go in tanks, and when it says zoo animals, it just means things from the original base game Zoo Tycoon that don't require tanks and can be looked after by zookeepers and marine specialists, respectively. Earn an exhibit suitability rating of at least 85 for 7 exhibits. So yeah, there's no zoo rating, animal happiness or guest happiness requirements, so we don't actually need to keep the guests happy, and we don't need a high zoo rating, and we don't need high animal happiness, but obviously that will kind of just come naturally. Saying that, guests that are happy and see happy animals generally stay in the zoo for longer and therefore spend more money. So we want to keep the guests happy and the animals happy, but only for the sake of profit, because we're not going to make any money from zoo admission itself, because it's stuck at 0. I cannot change that. So, like I said, we need 50,000 net income, which does actually say itself there. So like I say, we start with $20,000, so the first thing to do, game is paused on January 1st, is just a quick examine of the map. We've got a couple of broken items over here, which I find a bit odd. We've also got quite a bit of exhibit fencing that we're going to destroy. I'm basically going to bulldoze the entire map, which will increase our starting funds, and I think it will actually contribute to the net income. Because, like I say, I think another way of saying this is that basically after 18 months we need at least $70,000. The only thing I'm going to keep, though, is this compost building. Because basically the compost building works that every time an animal poos and then it gets cleared up by either a zookeeper or a scientist, although obviously we can't get scientists in this particular scenario. No, just to confirm. Dinosaur Digs is blocked out. You get $50. I don't know. I don't remember if you have to pay any upkeep on the compost building, but it does basically pay for itself. So I'm obviously going to keep that there, because if you've got a big zoo, those things can make thousands a month. So I don't want to sell the compost building. And straight away, I've increased my starting funds to almost $50,000, which does actually contribute to the net income. So another way of saying this is, yeah, we basically just need at least $70,000 by the time that the scenario ends. One way to look at that is, I suppose, we get a year and a half. So after a year, we'll have 6 months. So we need to be making about $10,000 a month in profit after about a year, which, considering we don't get any money from admissions, is actually going to be quite difficult, because let's say, for sake of argument, you charge $29 for admission and you get 50 guests a month coming into your zoo. That's going to be 29, or call it 30 times 50. That's $1,500 a month that you're losing because you don't have admissions income. It's not actually a lot when I put it like that, but it's money that you can't make back. Anyway, because guest happiness and zoo rating aren't an issue, and we only need a suitability rating of 85 for 7 exhibits, I'm basically going to do every single little thing I can to make the zoo as profitable as possible. So, I'm going to just use, I think boardwalk paths do increase guest happiness by the same amount as like brick and cobblestone, but I'm just going to use dirt paths for now. I'm also actually going to save the game real quick. So this is free admission. Right. And I'm actually going to keep the game paused just for now and build a nice path out this way. And I'm also going to level the terrain around here because I don't like how it's sort of it was a bit odd looking, for lack of a better term. Turn on the grid. Right, so first things first, we need 7 different species. We only need a suitability of 85. So I don't need to worry about, obviously, the admission cost because, you know, that's the whole point of the scenario. It's free. Seeing as we've got a lot of sand here already, it would make sense to go for some kind of, like, camel and maybe gemsbok, or just something that requires a lot of sand. I'm actually going to unpause the game just temporarily. Fortunately, I don't think any of this stuff is going to require upkeep, apart from maybe the compost building itself. We've got a lot of animals that we can adopt. Also, crocodiles, very popular, quite easy to build an exhibit for them. So, I'm basically just going to sort of cheap out on exhibits. I'll build them to like a reasonable standard, but the main thing is obviously that we need as much profit as possible. And for that reason, I'm also not going to build things like animal houses, because even though they do increase guest suitability, you have to research them first, which obviously costs a lot of money. And unless you have the very basic not exhibit, but I can't think of the word for them. The very first basic animal or thing they show, then they're not going to... I lost my train of thought, but basically, unless you have the very first thing that they show, then they cost upkeep, and they don't generate any profit at all. So they're basically a waste of time. Normally I would build palm trees here. I guess I'll build palm trees, because actually, if possible, I want as much money from awards as I can. Just check. The suitability of that is 88, which we only need 85, so that's fine. Guess they're saying the entrance fee is a really good value. Yeah, we're going to get that a lot, because obviously I can't do anything about that. So things like restaurants, animal theatres, carousels, yeah, we're going to get loads of those. Petting zoo and Japanese garden, normally I would build, but again, they don't generate any money, so I'm not going to bother with those. Yeah, essentially the theme is that if it doesn't generate money, I'm not going to build it. So animal houses, petting zoo, Japanese garden, they're all essentially out. We just need as much in the way of profit and money as we can get. Not going to build the gift shop just yet. But I will do later on. I'm actually going to charge $16 for the restaurant. Right, crocodile would be a good shout. Let's actually level this terrain, because this terrain being like this isn't really helping anybody. That costs like $2,000, but I don't know. I really have to think about this, and I don't like it. So people are using the restaurant already, which is good. Yeah, I really have to think about this, because everything I do has to be like well calculated in the knowledge of I can't be spending more money than necessary. It's a really sort of weird scenario in that sense. That's 8 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's big enough for 2 crocodiles, I believe. That's probably too big, but whatever. If I can somehow get guest happiness 95, which is very unlikely, but it might be possible, then you do get the award, which means it's like making your guest's visit to the zoo memorable. And that gives me... I need a zookeeper. That gives me 25,000. Alright. So, straight away, that's roughly right. Yeah, basically, yeah, what I'm trying to say is that once you get, the first time you hit 95 guest happiness, you get an award that's like, for making your guest's visit to the zoo memorable, and the reward for that is $25,000. And also, if I can get 99 exhibit suitability, that's an extra $15,000 for the Gold Plaque in Excellence in Exhibit Design award. So I'm probably going to go with like Bengal tigers, because they're popular and it's very easy to get like 100 suitability. So I do actually want to make the guests happy, because then they're more likely to become benefactors, and donations are going to be very useful later on. Wow, this restaurant is actually making a loss, but to be fair, it's had to pay like quite a bit in upkeep already. So this is really annoying not having, because we are actually going to have a lot of guests, so it is very annoying not having any money come from these guests. Let's put in the carousel. Put that in there. Actually, hang on. Put that in there, because this is probably going to be quite congested. Alright. Yeah, like I say, I haven't played this scenario in years, so I don't remember how difficult it actually is, but I get the feeling it's probably actually going to be quite difficult. So yeah, if I can get a Bengal tiger exhibit... There is also the emergency donation of 10,000, but that obviously requires me to go below a certain amount of money. But obviously it will actually kind of contribute to the net income. And I actually do need a marine exhibit as well, so there's that to bear in mind. Hang on, what the hell am I doing? Right, hang on. Think about this. I don't need to go 10 by 10 tigers, so let's go 8 by 10. That's big enough. Alright, I'm going to have to spend a lot of money in terrain, but hopefully it'll all be worth it for the $15,000 in the award. I don't remember if Bengal tigers want dirt, but that's just like a base terrain anyway. I can adjust it later on as needs be. Mangrove trees. Yeah, I think Bengal tigers like these as much as the mangroves, and they are significantly cheaper, so I'm just going to build these anyway. And also, to be fair, because they're like low trees, it also means that I can actually see what the fuck I'm doing. So, whoops. Alright. I mean, if I really wanted to cheap out, I'd only get one of these things. Like, one crocodile, one Bengal tiger. But I think then the animals would probably be unhappy and complain that they want a mate, and, you know, more animals would make them happier, that sort of thing. Which is understandable. Oops. Oh, they do want dirt. Just a little bit of dirt anyway. Okay. So yeah, that terrain's fine. Oops. Annoyingly, every time I build a rock and then sell it or something, I do technically lose money because you don't get as much money for selling something or destroying it as you did when you have to pay out for the cost, so I want to avoid that as much as possible. So yeah, I've got Excellence in Exhibits Design Silver for 90 suitability, but unfortunately that doesn't pay out any money. So we're already at 95, just keep going with the foliage. I mean, these are rainforest animals anyway, so they do want a lot of foliage, as you can see. 98 suitability, keep going. There you go. Excellence Exhibits Design, that's another 15,000. So, we should have a net income of like 6,200, which, yeah, we do. So yeah, basically this is just another way of saying, as I keep saying, that after 18 months we will need at least $70,000. Endgame. Alright. Yeah, the restaurant's now making a profit, the carousel's making a profit, but it hasn't had to pay anything in upkeep yet. But saying that, it will still be making a profit even after we have to pay the upkeep. I'm not sure which animal I want for the marine exhibit. I'm also not sure exactly how I'm going to build this zoo up exactly. Could get an elephant ride because they do sort of make money. Petting zoo, no. Animatronic theatre. Yeah, they can make profit, so I'll get those. Get one of those. Don't want to put it like that. Yeah, go on then. They tend to make a small profit. Animal Theatre, yes, we're going to want one of those. We can put that... let's put it here. Like that. I will get an elephant ride, actually. I suppose one thing is that because the zoo is free to enter, we're going to have more guests anyway, so things will probably make more money than they normally do, simply because we've got so many guests coming to the zoo. Oh, also, one thing I should mention, I don't know if this will actually make a difference in this scenario. So, base game, the guest cap is 1,000 guests. After you hit 1,000 guests for the first time, you do get a award for Most Popular Zoo Gold Certificate. I don't remember if it comes with any money. Yeah, so you see the elephant ride is making money anyway. I don't remember if that award comes with any money. You get another award that's like Most Popular Zoo Silver Certificate, and that's for hitting 500 guests for the first time. That definitely doesn't come with any money, unfortunately. But I've basically gone into the game files and just changed that cap to 5,000. But the thing is that when you have a massive freeform zoo with 1,000 guests, it feels really empty. I'm talking a zoo with like 30, 40 exhibits. And also, even with 30, 40 exhibits, I've never actually had more than about 1,800 guests. So 5,000 is way more than enough. So call me a cheat all you like, but I don't really care because it's basically just eliminating a game limitation that frankly is only because this game's like 20 years old. I don't know whether to build a Gemsbok exhibit that's really cheap, because Gemsbok aren't that popular with guests, I don't think. Or I build a marine exhibit, but that would necessitate the usage of a marine specialist, but I guess I'm going to need one anyway. We also need at least 4 marine animals, so I don't want anything that's too small in an exhibit, and I also don't want anything that's like really expensive, for obvious reasons. And I want something that can actually have at least 4 marine animals in its exhibit. The obvious thing would be something like bluefin tuna, but they're really unpopular with guests. I don't know how much that really matters, though. I also don't want to build too far over this way, because then I run into the compost building. Compost building, there you go. Doesn't pay any upkeep, and it gives you $50 every time you have a poo get cleaned up. I'm probably going to need another zookeeper. Oh, and also, Bengal tigers breed a lot, and every time I sell an animal, I make more money, so that's really good. Yeah, baby camel as well. And do we have any baby crocodiles? No, we don't. I'm going to rename these exhibits, because otherwise it's like Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3, and I'm not going to remember what's in them. Oops. Yeah. So, restaurant making money, animal theatre making money, elephant ride making money, carousel making money, animatronic theatre making money. Are there any other money building? Oh, I never built the gift shop. I was going to say, are there anything else, any other money building buildings I could build? The answer to that is yes, the gift shop. I'm not going to build it like that. I am going to build it like that, though. Because here, maybe not there, but I do want to build some lions. And I think I'm going to build them here. Because lions breed like crazy, they don't require a very big exhibit, and they're very popular with guests. So I can literally build an exhibit like this, have... and also I'm not going to do like any research unless it's absolutely necessary. Because like I say, I've already said I'm not going to research animal houses, I'm not going to research foliage or endangered animals, because I don't really need to. So conservation is basically out the window. I think that'll be roughly okay for the lions. Like I said, that's only very approximate. But yeah, I'm basically only going to research something if I absolutely have to. Like, maybe I'll research, you know, staff education, animal care, that sort of thing. Rocks... Oh, yeah, foliage, obviously. I'm going to hide the foliage just so I can see what I'm doing. I will need another zookeeper. So what's the suitability on that? 94. Too much sand. Do you want more fresh water? Yes. Alright. Any more dirt? No. Any more savannah? Okay, that's fine. So yeah, we just need some rocks, and then that's fine. Now, unfortunately, I'm basically out of money at this point. But like I said, I basically have 1 year to build up the zoo as much as possible, and then like 6 months to make about $10,000. I mean, if I go from no money at all, then those 6 months I'll have to make about $12,000 a month, which is a lot. So I might want to start thinking about that. I might want to start... Yeah, so the gift shop is making money. I might want to start thinking about that, like... as soon as possible, really. Right, what else can I build that could make money? I don't want to build things like burger stands and pizza shops. Don't want to build the Japanese garden, petting zoo. They don't make any money. I mean, later on I can always build things like... the... You know, more like a second restaurant, for example. But for now, I just really want to build up the zoo as much as possible. So we've already got 4 exhibits, and we are probably going to need another zookeeper. I'm not going to bother with tour guides because I don't really know what they do. I think they increase guest happiness, but the fact I've got 93 guest happiness with no tour guides, I think they kind of just make sure that the guests actually go to like far-reaching exhibits and kind of take them to where they want to go, but I really don't actually know. I always get tour guides, but then I think, are they actually necessary? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. There are also things like swim shacks and swim with dolphin stuff. Boat rental, I don't think that makes any money at all. don't know how I want to do this, because this terrain is really weird. But yeah, like swim shacks and swim with dolphins, they can make a lot of money if you use them correctly. The obvious place to build one would be like over here, but then I run into the risk of possibly guests getting annoyed because the compost building is over there. And the compost building massively decreases guest happiness. But saying that, I think they can get like pretty close to it and it's not an issue, so I don't know. Man, I have to think about a lot in this scenario. I'm not used to this. Out of interest, how are we actually doing profit-wise? So, there you go, that's the 25,000 for highest customer satisfaction. So, okay, ignoring that, we're losing 5,000, but construction and animal purchase means that we're actually making like 4,000 a month, which is not loads. Obviously we need to make more. Yeah, we're getting loads in admissions, but like if we had like 60 guests a month all paying $29 to come in, that's like an extra $1,800 a month, which we're just not getting. I could build like Shark Tunnel. For some reason, these things don't make money, really. Or like, they don't make a lot. Photo booth makes fuck all money, that's just like a waste of time. Actually, I did read, and I don't know if I'm going to have enough money to do it, but I did read online that it's a very good idea in this scenario to build a marine show. For that reason, get something like bottlenose dolphin. That is probably a good idea, actually, because marine shows do make money. And I could build it like here. Or build it maybe like over here. Building it over here, I run the risk of the compost building, which, to be honest, I would kind of like to relocate, if possible. Although it would cost $300 to relocate, because I get $1,200 selling it, but then I could relocate it to over there, and then I could build stuff over here freely without having to worry about it. You know what? I'm actually just going to build the dolphins away from the compost building over here. But first I've actually got to build the dolphin exhibit, which also means, annoyingly, I'm going to need a marine specialist and probably a maintenance worker to fix this tank. But I'm going to need a maintenance worker anyway later on. For the pure fact that he's going to need to fix some of these fences. But that 25,000 is going to come in massively useful. If I can keep guest happiness high, then hopefully we're going to get some zoo benefactors. We've already got 4. Yeah. Alright. Dolphins don't require a very big exhibit, so I think that's big enough. Oh, hang on, we need 4 dolphins. I'm going to save the game. If this is big enough, then we're fine. If it isn't, then I'll just reload the save. I know it's technically save scumming, but boo-hoo. There you go. No save scum necessary because it is big enough. I need to make it slightly deeper, but that's not a problem. Okay. Right. It's you can get better exhibit suitability with the small rocks, but it's cheaper to just go with large. And kelp. Yeah, so 96 suitability. That's fine. We are going to need a marine specialist though, and also I'm going to need to get some grandstands and build the show tank itself. Alright. With marine tanks, there's basically no reason to use anything other than the cheapest exhibit fencing, because marine fencing never deteriorates. I guess the only reason would be, like, maybe guests prefer I can't build an advanced trick area because I've built it too small. That's really quite annoying, actually, because this is going to be quite a boring show. Shoot. I'm going to reload my save. Oh, wow. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, because I forgot to save after I built the original exhibit. Not a problem. We'll just have to rebuild the exhibit, that's no big deal. I mean, it's pretty quick to do, no big deal. See? It's like it never happened. Alright, now, with that in mind, we want the advanced trick area for the show tank, so how do I want to do this then? I actually kind of want something a bit more like this. Yeah, that should work. Alright, and then put that like that. And then that way the entrance to those exhibits are both right next to each other, so the marine specialist doesn't have far to travel. Alright. Now I can get the advanced trick area in. We're going to need 2 dolphin balls. Annoyingly, most of my money's basically gone. 2 dolphin hoops. Yeah, that's everything. Right. Put foliage back in. Put these paths in. I did find out, by the way, that for some weird reason, guests don't seem to use grandstands if they're 2 paths away from the show tank, so I only actually want 1 path there. Alright, marine specialist, put him there. That is the dolphin tank, and this is lion exhibit. Now, this is dolphin show tank. Oops. Unfortunately, that cost a hell of a lot of money. For some reason we're also getting a load of vomiting guests in the background. Probably... yeah, there's a lot of camel poo. Get a second zookeeper. I could actually assign these zookeepers, to be honest. I think that's probably a good idea. So get him to do the lions and the camels, which, to be quite honest, that's probably going to require more work than tigers and crocs. Yeah, actually, I'm just going to... He's monitoring zoo, he's going to the lion exhibit. Quality animal care, that's, I think, animal happiness 98 or higher after 6 months, which we've done. We've got animal happiness 99. So that's 5,000, that's nice bit of cash. Bengal tigers and crocodiles. Alright. We are getting vomiting guests, but I don't know if that actually affects animal happiness. Hoop jump. Play with ball. It's not the best in terms of animal happiness, but it'll do for now. So it's going to be a pretty lousy show, first of all. But the thing is guests go to it, and it will generate a bit of money. And they're going to come out of it probably quite hungry. So I could actually build a restaurant here. Because... yeah, we're getting a lot of guests here. Unfortunately, I can't really build more grandstands to satisfy all these guests, but I can build a restaurant here anyway, so... And the Lobby's restaurant is the same, fundamentally, as the Zoo Tycoon base game restaurant. Annoyingly, these guests won't go to this restaurant for some time, possibly. The show did just end. The thing is, as well, is that even though it was a pretty lousy show, it did actually make quite a bit of money. So, that satisfies the goal of having 4 marine animals and the exhibit suitability of 85. So yeah, like, you know, all these guests, they basically... the marine animal show kind of acts like a magnet. They're like, oh, the show's on! And then they all gravitate towards this area. And then they kind of all think like, oh, now I'm really hungry, or oh shit, now I need the toilet. So then they just go to this restaurant, which is going to make a fortune, hopefully. I was reluctant to build the elephant ride, but it is actually making a small profit. And guest happiness is really good. Right. Okay. So, essentially all I need to do now is build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I basically just need to build 2 zoo exhibits and then make, like, well, $50,000. And yeah, we're having frequent shows. Are there any tricks I've not put on? Jump, flip, play with ball, tail walk, hoop jump. Not that no, and unfortunately, to get any of the advanced tricks, you've got to do research. So I could maybe research some tricks, but the fact is that the guests are actually going to the show, and we're putting on pretty regular shows. So even though it doesn't really do much for guest happiness, that doesn't matter because that's not one of our goals. We just need the money. And it is basically a sellout show, so... yeah. Can't really complain. Alright. So when these baby lions grow up, we're going to sell them both. I know that's kind of harsh, but that's just how this game works. I think I might build a Gemsbok exhibit, just because it's cheap. But I really do need to make more money. Like, I need something that's going to make a lot of money. Shark Tunnel I don't think makes money. The Swim Shack does have a massive capacity, if it's not actually unlimited. The question is where do I build one? Unless I actually... I have an idea. I don't know if it will work, but it's an idea nonetheless. Okay, that costs 3,000. I don't know if guests are gonna... Because the problem at the moment is that all the guests are basically just hanging around here. Because that's where the show is. And also, guests naturally gravitate towards restaurants because they satisfy the needs. And they possibly just gravitate towards them anyway. The other two exhibits, I mean, I could build, like... Zoo Tycoon exhibits are always generally cheaper than marine exhibits. I could build, like, Gemsbok, because that would probably be the cheapest thing to do here. But I also kind of want something that's, like, popular-ish. So I'm wondering maybe... I don't know. Because, like, chimpanzees are pretty cheap, and they're popular. No, I think I'll build a Gemsbok over here. Right. 7, 8 by 10. Yeah. Annoyingly, I don't think there's any more I can do in terms of awards. Like award money, I think I've basically... Ooh, hello. I forgot about the filters. Shoes. Yeah, we're gonna need a filter. Annoyingly, there's a load of guests in the way. Ah, there we go. And I'm going to need a filter for the main tank as well. But like I say, there's a lot of guests in the way. There we go. Do I have a maintenance worker? No, I don't. I'm going to need a maintenance worker. Just to make sure that the tanks actually stay operational. So this show is making a profit. I'm actually going to increase that to $7. I think guests will basically pay up... I mean, I don't know if it depends on, like, the length of the show and how much happiness it will give to the guests. Oh yeah, I forgot I actually had these Gemsbok. But I think the guests will basically pay up to around $8 or $9, and then they'll maybe start to see a bit of a drop off in attendance. So I could maybe even increase the cost of the show. Alright, these Gemsbok, they want more animals of the same type, not with dirt, not with fresh water. Seeing too much... Yeah, too much savannah, okay. They do want some savannah though, I know that much. Okay. Wow, yeah, those shows are so frequent that all the guests basically just are going to hover around here, which makes me think I should build the swim shack over here or something, but I'm still 50-50 about the swim shack. If I did build it, I'd build it like over there. Also, these guys technically want quiver trees, but I think you can get higher suitability with palm trees because they're small, and the games won't seem to like them anyway. So, which is odd because apparently the palm trees are from North America. Okay, that's suitability 90. They want more animals of the same type, so I guess I'll just give them to them because I actually want these guys to have children. Can I put another male in? Not enough shelters, okay. It's weird that the stable only houses 3, but... yeah. Okay. Right. So now, I just need to basically... I've got 11 months to make like 52,000 or so. Which actually, when you put it like that, is fine. Well, unfortunately, I do need to build another exhibit. And I can cheap out by building... Well, I was going to say I can cheap out. I mean, there's nothing to stop me. Oh, I was going to say there's nothing to stop me from building, like, another camel exhibit, but unfortunately it says 7 different animal species. I could just cheap out and build, like, a tuna exhibit, because I think they are really cheap. But to save me having to hire, like, another... Oh, I just realised something. Yeah, we're going to need another zookeeper. Yeah, we're definitely going to need another zookeeper. Okay, so this zookeeper can do Gemsbok, which will need to be renamed. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those shows are so constant. This restaurant is making so much money. So 1 guest needs the toilet, and 2 guests are hungry. I was actually wondering if I wanted to put in like another restaurant, or maybe even like another carousel. Also, I've learned from Freeform that it seems like no matter how big your zoo is, you only actually need, you only ever really need like one gift shop. Okay, so we've got a baby lion male and a baby lion female, so we could actually keep those and then like sell this male and then like this female, and then we still have 1 male and 3 females. No, I don't know. I'll figure it out. And crocodiles are giving birth as well, so it doesn't make a lot of money, but it basically just, it's like you get a tiny bit of money every time you sell an animal, so it makes sense to sell baby animals to prevent overpopulation, overcrowding, because the animals have a limit in how many animals they want in their exhibits, and for Bengal tigers it seems to be 2 adults. Children don't seem to affect this limit, because Bengal tigers seem perfectly fine with like 2 adults and 2 children, but once those children grow up into adults, then they complain and become unhappy that there's too many animals in their exhibit. Now the question is do I build like tuna or do I build something else? Okay, the guests are all becoming unhappy because they're seeing that the crocodile is sick, but the crocodile that's sick is the baby. Where is the zookeeper who's assigned to this exhibit? There you go. Now, guests will hopefully become a bit happier now. Yes, we've already got 27 zoo benefactors. We are making quite a bit in donations. They come in at the end of the month. So if we just take like July for example, that adds up to 10,500. So we make about 5,000 a month, which is again not loads, but it's enough. Sort of. I could do with more, just to be on the safe side. Right, what do I build that's cheap? I mean, the obvious answer would be like a bison. It's a shame there aren't more desert animals in the game, because obviously we've got a lot of sand. Sea lion? No. I'm just going to go with bison. They're quite cheap, and I think they're reasonably popular. Possibly. I just realised I kind of want to make the visits as short as possible, so that the zookeepers don't have as far to travel. So tigers and crocs, make them as close as possible. It's still a bit of a distance, but it's not really anything I can do about that. Camels and lions, meanwhile. Yeah, okay, I can make that a bit shorter. So camels there, lions there, that's fine. Okay. Yeah, we can put bison over here. Or over here, I guess. Okay. How do I want to do this? That's 6, 7 by 10. That should be big enough. Yeah, so even though guest happiness randomly dropped down to 91, it's already back up to 94. One thing to bear in mind with guest happiness is that when a guest comes into the zoo as a new guest, I believe they come in with 75 guest happiness, which is low. Considering that like most scenarios require guest happiness, generally require it to be like 90 or 93. Yeah, they want more animals at the same time. Okay. So, basically, all we need to do now is build the zoo in such a way that in 10 months I can make $56,000. The zoo as it is might actually be sufficient to do that. Bearing in mind, obviously, I don't want to spend a load of money terraforming and building buildings, because that will itself cost money, even if it then later generates a profit. So this guy will take care of the Gemblesbok and the bison. Okay, I think we will be okay, but I don't know, and it's very sort of 50-50. Okay, these guys have given birth. There's one baby Gemsbok. That's fine. These guys have given birth as well. Lions, yeah, there's some baby lions. Baby crocs, not yet grown up. I only want to sell the animals when they grow up to adults, because babies, A, they don't seem to matter for there are too many animals in this exhibit, and B, baby animals are more popular as guests. They're more attractive to the guests than the adult versions. Not necessarily by a lot, but just in general. We're not currently researching anything. Not that we want to, anyway. I'm going to save the game again. So, we've got 9.5 months to make $50,000. That's all we have to do. If we just look at, like, August, for example, we did make a lot in private donations, which makes me wonder... No, we didn't get anything like a one-time bonus. So, yeah, we basically made a lot in private donations. We do have a lot of benefactors, which will help a lot. I think we're going to be fine in terms of expenses and income. I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's like a massive moneymaker, besides just like building another restaurant. Or like another carousel, which... yeah, I could do, but it's risky because it might not make that much in profit. I don't know. I think 2 restaurants for a zoo this size is probably okay. Like, it's really not a big zoo. It's 7 exhibits. There's nothing I can, like... just check the map. There's nothing obvious that I've missed that I can destroy. Unfortunately, I can't destroy, like, all this harbour stuff, because it is actually outside the zoo. Got a baby camel. Ah, here we go. These guys are grown up and now there's too many animals in the exhibit. So, seeing as that's 2 males, we'll sell both of those. Keep the male, keep the female. The lions are still babies. The dolphins are still babies, that's fine. It might be a case of just sitting around waiting for the scenario to end at this point, because I don't really see any way that I can make more money without spending an absolute fortune. But yeah, the marine show was a really good idea, because it's making about $600 a month in profit, which isn't loads, but it's more than we would be making if we just had like a regular marine exhibit. And also dolphins are a popular animal with guests anyway, so with a bit of luck, people will donate. Yeah, I mean, we're making a bit of money in donations for dolphins. Lions. Tigers are really popular. Crocodiles are really popular. Camels, not so much, but whatever. Bison, no one really cares about bison, unfortunately. I mean, it's a shame because, you know, I think that bison are a cool animal, but this game seems to think otherwise. I could raise the prices of stuff, but then people might complain it's too expensive. I don't actually know the limit at which people say, oh yeah, this is too expensive. But I think I will actually just increase the price of these anyway. Because I think restaurants $17 is probably fine. And at the end of the day, it's not like these people have a choice. If they want food or a drink or the toilet, they have to go to the restaurant. I mean, at least I give them the choice of whether they want the lobbies restaurant or the restaurant. But, yeah. So we're going to make $40,000 in 9 months. That's probably fine. Because like I say, it's only like $4,500 a month. I don't think I need any more staff members. I'm not going to get a tour guide. I think one maintenance worker's okay. Because all he's got to do is just fix some broken fences, which hopefully won't break that much, and fix these 2 filters every now and then. The thing is as well is, like, unless the exhibit fence is completely broken, I don't think Zoo Tycoon animals really pose that massive a risk of escaping. Because when I've done, like, freeform zoos with dinosaur digs animals, especially, like, the big main ones are the Allosaurus, the Spinosaurus, the T-Rex, and to a lesser extent the Apatosaurus. But those first 3, if you've got even a slight bit of weak fencing, they will escape. Dinosaurs are very, very annoying in this game. I cannot stress that enough. They're expensive, they're whiny, and they just shock themselves. Right, so let's sell off him. Some animals seem to mate with a particular animal, and therefore it's not a good idea to sell off the mates, because then they complain. Some animals, like lions, it doesn't seem to matter, and also inbreeding in this game is not a thing, so basically this lion, even though he's the father of Lion 4 and Lion 5, he could mate with Lion 5 and have a baby, and then he would be the father and grandfather of that baby, which would be horrific. But yeah, Zoo Tycoon doesn't have any kind of like incest or family tree meter, so you can basically just sell whoever you like, and an adult male is just an adult male, and an adult female is just an adult female. It doesn't matter like if it's the father or the mother. But like lions will mate with whoever as long as they're the opposite gender. It's not like they mate for life and they're like, you know, oh, this is my mate, so I can't find my mate now because it's been sold. This lion is just like, oh look, there's another female. Like, and that's why you can have like 1 male and 2 females with lions, because it'll just mate with both. In this game anyway, so. Wow, yeah, we're actually making a lot of money. Admittedly, I still need to pay, like, for the staff and everything, but... yeah. Zoo donations and benefactors, you can make a fortune in that. Marketing, I've genuinely never figured out what that does. I mean, it's supposed to bring more guests into the zoo. Whether or not it does, I don't know, but I think the main thing that determines how many guests you have into the zoo is probably, like, zoo rating. The bigger the zoo, the higher the zoo rating, the more guests want to come into the zoo. But also, like, the actual price, because we're getting so many guests coming into the zoo because it's free. If we were charging $29 or $49, we'd probably be getting like 40 or 50 guests a month, if that. Because the zoo rating is only 85, but because it's free, we're getting so many guests coming to the zoo that unfortunately I can't make any profit off of. That's annoying. Also, I can't do anything with regards to awards. I guess the only thing I could do would be, like, if we somehow managed to get 1,000 guests, which is obviously not going to happen, or like if we had an endangered animal give birth, then we would get $10,000 for giving birth to an endangered animal, but that would require the research of said endangered animal, like white Bengal tiger, black leopard, okapi, and then there's no guarantee that they will actually breed anyway. So, at this point there's really no need, especially when I only need to make like $25,000 and I've got like 8 months to do so. So, in actuality, this scenario has actually kind of turned out to be quite easy. I thought this scenario would be really difficult, but not really. There's nothing I'm missing, right? I mean, I have done everything besides just earn a net income of $50,000. Yeah. I gotta say, I thought this scenario would be really difficult, but the fact that you get, like, $25,000 for 95 guest happiness, you get $5,000 basically free after 6 months, because you only need 98 animal happiness, and that's easy to achieve, and $15,000 for a suitability of 99 or higher, which for something like a Bengal tiger or a lion is incredibly easier to achieve, if you know what you're doing. You know, that's like $50,000 right there, pretty much. $45,000 in total. I don't think there's any more award money I can get. There's a lot of awards you can get that are only in Freeform, and some of them are really weird, like you wouldn't think to do them. So without a guide, it's kind of like you wouldn't get them because they're really quite weird. Some of them give you money, some of them actually unlock objects you can use in regular scenarios. So like for example here, I've unlocked an iceberg that is massive and kind of useless, because if you want to increase if you want to increase exhibit suitability, the easiest way is to just use, or the best way is to use small rocks, because then you can finely tune the amount of rockage, and yes, I just invented the word rockage, as in like the percentage of the exhibit denoted to rocks. With small rocks, that's the best way to do it. That's how you get like 99, 100 exhibit suitability for marine animals. This iceberg, I've genuinely never used it, but I've unlocked it by playing Freeform. I'd say it's more of a gimmick than an actual functional functional object that I'm ever going to buy and or use, but hey ho, it's there. Also, like the photo booth, you unlock that for doing... I forget which scenario, but it's one of the beginner Marine Mania scenarios. And then there's also, like, the seal statue. I unlocked that for getting, like, some pretty... not difficult, but it requires a massive zoo, and I did that in Freeform. And then you get an award called, like, Zoo of the Year, or Best Zoo in the World. And you unlock this seal statue. Doesn't do anything, it just increases guest happiness, because it's a bit of scenery. Costs 200, looks pretty nice. And then this dolphin statue, even though this is tiny, it does actually increase guest happiness, because it's a bit of scenery. It does actually look really cool, but it was a really difficult faff to achieve, because I basically had to have a dolphin show generate $20,000 in profit. Now, admittedly, this has made like $4,500. I'm actually going to increase this to $7.50. $8 might be a bit too much. But yeah, once I hit $20,000 profit for a dolphin show, which did actually take me like a year and a half in game time, I unlocked a award which gave me $10,000 cash, and unfortunately it's only available in Freeform, I believe. Freeform just simply means that you're playing without any objectives, unlike scenarios where you've got a time limit and an objective. But it also unlocks the statue for getting that award. There's a similar one for doing, I think, sea lions, sea otters, and orcas. So it's like the four main marine show animals. We do have a lot of baby animals, but I don't want to sell any of them because they're not yet adults. So when they grow up, I can make even more money. I have actually basically won the scenario already, and I've still got 6 months to go. So I could actually really build another exhibit, and I'd probably still make enough money. But yeah, that show... Actually, it's not even the show, really. Because the show's making only a few hundred a month. I guess it all adds up. But the main thing making money for me is donations. For some reason I made $18,000 almost in donations. I mean, Zoo Award money does count as donations. Why I made so much that month, I don't know, but we've got 61 benefactors. I don't know how much a benefactor gives, whether it's like an average or one benefactor gives you, say, $50 a month. I don't know. But I think once a guest becomes a benefactor, they're a benefactor for life. Don't quote me on that because I'm probably wrong. The number of benefactors probably can go down as well as up. But obviously the more guests we get, the more benefactors we get, assuming that they keep really happy. I mean, we've got 96 guest happiness. That is very high indeed. And building a restaurant next to a show, that's just a surefire moneymaker because the guests gravitate to the show, they come back, they need the toilet, they need food, they need a drink, they need a rest, they go to the restaurant. Dolphin can't find any food. Well, the marine specialist is right there giving food. Full load of fish. Nice. So yeah, there's not really much to do at this point, to be quite honest. I guess just sit back and wait for the scenario to end. And I think essentially I could build another exhibit as long as I don't dip below $70,000. I should be good to go. Just going to save the game. Yes, I've just hit $70,000. That goal is completed, but unfortunately we do have to wait 6 months. Interestingly, I can't remember how many scenarios there are in Marine Mania. But this is the first of, I think, only 3 scenarios in the entire Marine Mania that actually have a time limit. Marine Mania scenarios generally don't have time limits, which is good, in my opinion, because it does mean, you know, you get as long as you want, so it makes the scenario easier, but also once you satisfy the goals, as we have just done, the scenario just ends. So, like, if you've watched my last video, Marine Mania Save the Marine Animals Zoo, that didn't have a time limit. So, as soon as I did the goals, I won. But it also meant that, you know, theoretically I could have taken 5 in-game years to complete the objectives. It wouldn't have been a problem. And also, the fact that I've used dirt paths doesn't seem to have made a difference because the guests are really happy anyway. It might increase the zoo rating, but seeing as that's not an objective, then we could basically just make do with dirt. I am really quite tempted to build another exhibit, but I also don't want to spend more money than I have to. And I don't want to dip below 70,000, even though I would almost certainly make it back up. Yeah, $17 seems fine for restaurants, because obviously they're still going to the restaurants. It's going to be quite awkward to sell the dolphins, because obviously some of them are in the show and some of them aren't. We do have a baby bison. We've also got a baby gemsbok. I don't know if it's gemsbok or gemsbok, but I just keep saying gemsbok. Hold up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, these are actual. Yeah, okay. So these lions are the original babies, which I've just sold. These lions are either from the babies, in which case they're like grandchildren, or they're just from these lions, like lion 1, 2, and 3. Bengal tiger can't find any food. Whoa. Oh, those are babies, so that's not a problem. Crocodile, yeah, okay, we're going to need another mason to work with because that crocodile exhibit is looking shabby. Now, you see, if this was yeah, there are 6 months left to complete the scenario. If that was a dinosaur exhibit, we'd probably have an escaped dinosaur by now. I say that, what if it was like a big herbivore, we'd probably be fine. If it was like an Allosaurus or Spinosaurus, yeah, he would have escaped. And obviously, that's, you know, ignoring the fact that this exhibit fencing would not be able to hold a dinosaur. There's no other like exhibit fencing that's massively destroyed. No, everything's fine. I should probably sell these. I'm going to keep them for now. Because the thing is like, when the show is on, there's like basically no dolphins in the regular exhibit, so it's not a problem. Overcrowding isn't an issue. Right. So we can actually have 4 camels in here, and that's fine. And also I don't want to sell the dolphins that might end up being in the show. I don't think there's any risk of anything going below 85 suitability, because I think everything is high enough that it's not gonna... Like, if we had to get 90 suitability, and we had 90 suitability, I'd be thinking, I need to get a bit more suitability. But if it's just a limit of 85, and we've got 90, it's probably not going to dip below 85. Although those crocodiles are only at 85 suitability, so that is worrying me. In case they dip below 85. Can I get any... I think, for some reason... Oh, I can get more rocks. So that only actually increases it to 86. For some reason, even though they say that they want water reeds, I think... And I might be wrong, so I'm going to save the game in case I am wrong. I think they actually like, in terms of suitability, the water lily more. We can actually get more water lilies. And there you go, that increases it to 98 suitability, so... Whether they prefer the water lily to the water reed, even though it says on the description that they prefer the water reed, and the water reed is actually from Southeast Asia, like the crocodile actually is from Southeast Asia. The water lily is from North America. I think they actually prefer the water lily. So that's 98 suitability. That's 98 suitability. The dolphins are 96 suitability. And now he's actually saying that the exhibit's not big enough. But when they go into the show, that isn't an issue. Why Dolphin 5 and Dolphin 6 aren't performing in the show, I don't know. I am actually going to sell them, though. Games block. Hold on. Male, female, female, male. Male. He's grown up. The exhibit's not big enough, so we can sell him. Bison. Female, female. Not enough shelters, so yeah. And like I said, we still have 5 months left, and I've made way more than I actually need to satisfy the objective. It's entirely possible that when this bison grows up into an adult, this exhibit won't be big enough for 4 bison. And also we will have 3 females and 1 male, so I'm probably going to end up selling that bison anyway. Which will then mean that we've got more shelters than necessary, but I think that's fine. I could even research, like, some stuff. I don't want that, or that. I realise I've just eliminated everything. I mean, I could research animal houses just to increase the exhibit, or the guest happiness a bit, zoo rating a bit, but there's really no need. Because the guests are already really happy without them. Animal shelters, no. Animal enrichment, no. Don't need that. Could get bottlenose dolphin tricks. Great white shark tricks, no. No. Orca tricks. Right, Marine Specialist training we do need. This is going to cost me like $2,000 a month, but for 5 months that's only $10,000, so I can afford it. But yeah, conservation, I don't need anything. The Marine Specialist training, Marine Specialist walk and swim faster. It's not absolutely necessary, but I'm just going to get it anyway. I've made $30,000 more than I need to, so I don't think we really have an issue here. And also, it just gives me something to do, because right now it's like, well, what do I do? I mean, I've got, you know, 5 months. Not really anything to do. And I don't want to end the video before I actually win the scenario, so... yeah, I'm just gonna... I'm just going to improve the zoo in any way that I can. Without going below $70,000. Marine Specialist Training 2 is really weird because it just means that you can research okay, we don't want that particular... yeah, we don't want, like, maintenance worker. I'm still on the fence about dolphin tricks, but I guess I'll research them anyway. Yeah, maintenance worker training means that they sweep up trash faster, which is useless for me. Unfortunately, maintenance worker training 2 and maintenance worker training 3 mean that they rebuild fences faster and they service filters faster, both of which I want. Obviously I can't get them until I research like a lot of other staff training. It's fine. You know, I've got loads of money anyway. And as it turns out, I didn't even need the swim shack, which I was still kind of on the fence about getting anyway. I know that they can make a load of money if you build them in the right place, but sometimes I build them and they don't make any money, and I'm wondering if that's because the guests are just going to the dolphin tank and they're not thinking like, oh yeah, I want to go for a swim. Maybe because they're like too tired or they just can't be bothered, or maybe because, like I say, they're just going to the dolphin show and not thinking about anything else. I could build a really popular animal exhibit and just increase the amount of benefactors, although we've already got loads. So really I'd only be building it for, like, something to do, rather than, like, because I actually have to build it. How much space have we actually got there anyway, like, assuming that I build a path here. Build a bit of path there. Not strictly necessary, but... okay, so... that is 8 by 13, which is 100 and... shit, can't maths. Well, 8 by 12 is 96, so 8 by 13 is... fuck's sake. God damn it. It's 104. God damn, why did that take me so long? Right. Which is bigger than 10%, so that's fine. I would prefer 10x10. I mean, I could even actually level this terrain. That would kind of make my life a bit easier. Right, so... I mean, I could build like an elephant exhibit. It would probably cost me less than 34,000. But I would also require another zookeeper. I'm 50-50 if I actually want to do this. Or not. Like, I think elephants are popular. And I like elephants. And I do have like 40,000 to spare, which is enough. Plus any other money that I make. Yeah, the compost building is making like 500, well, about $600 a month. Which is ironically almost as much as the dolphin show. I think the thing about the dolphin show is that the reason it's not making more is simply because I don't have more grandstands. Because I can't really charge more. I could charge maybe like $8 for it. I don't want to say it's a continuous because then it's like the dolphins just never get any rest. At Frequent we get a lot of shows, but the dolphins remain happy. I think I will build an elephant exhibit here. It'll be quite expensive to build, but screw it, like, I've got money. I've got like 42,000 to spend. Okay. Trying to remember exact, and it'll also go with the elephant ride. Trying to remember the exact sort of requirements of an elephant. I think they want a bit of sand and a bit of dirt, a bit of savanna, a bit of fresh water. I think it's something like that. Now, interestingly, even though it says baobab, I think you actually have better luck if you go for the... It's like the thorny bush or something. Oh, we don't have swinging log. Shit. Not essential, but it is very useful. Okay. Yeah, it's like the thorny bush. Yeah, thorn bush. And it is a lot cheaper, I believe, than the... Yeah, the baobab is very expensive. Because obviously the advantage of this is that you can fill up grid squares with 4 trees, or like 4 plants. That's only 85 suitability, but we need 85 suitability for 7 exhibits, not 85 suitability for all exhibits. So even if this did actually drop below, we'd still be fine. But I do want the... no, I don't want lion climbing rock. No! Stop researching lion climbing rock. I want the swinging log toy. Oh, fuck's sake. Right. Hopefully after lion climbing rock we will get the swinging log toy. Okay. Is there anything I can do to increase the suitability? Okay, yeah. Terrain. I don't like how the zookeeper doesn't tell you much information about terrain, or at least he tells you stuff, but it's not like, always... It's not incorrect, but it doesn't tell you enough, shall we say. Because, like, here, I've massively modified the terrain to get up to 89 suitability. The Zookeeper, I think, was basically just not actually saying anything about that. Right, we will need another Zookeeper, unfortunately. No, I don't want to name the Zookeeper, I want to name the exhibit. Actually, I think African Elephant Exhibit doesn't actually fit. But Elephant Exhibit is fine. We know obviously what it is. He's just going to be assigned to that, and that's the only thing he's going to do. Right. That's really unnecessary for the scenario, but, you know, I just wanted some elephants in my zoo. I've got the money so I can afford it, so it's fine. Now we're researching Swinging Log Toy, which will be done in 14 days. And we have 3 months left to wait, and I have actually done everything. So I thought this scenario would be really difficult, but it's actually turned out to be pretty easy. The main thing is to not go for like really expensive exhibits. Don't go terraforming loads of land, you know, flattening out the terrain, because the map is way bigger than you need. It's also very weird in terms of the terrain, because it's like lots of islands. Keep the compost building, because that does make a fortune. Build popular exhibits. Don't go researching things that you don't need to research. I put no money into conservation at all, and only now am I actually researching things like animal care and enrichment. Which I don't even really have to, I'm just doing it, like, because I can, basically. Camels feeling too crowded by too many guests. Not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. Crocodile, there you go. Female tigers, let's sell those off. We've got too many lions. Way too many lions. Not enough shelters and we want a toy. Well, we researched this, so let's... I was going to say let's put it down somewhere, but there's too many rocks all over the place. I think if I destroy that rock there, then I can put the... No, it still won't let me do so. Okay. What I don't want to do as well is create like inaccessible poos, and that does happen with lions. Because of all the rocks and the trees and the toys and everything. Wow, they want a lot more rocks. Okay. I mean, the thing is that ultimately it's kind of pointless, because... okay, I don't need this anymore. So, we want staff education, animal care, aquatic animal care, and... Oh yeah, I was going to put in like more dolphin trips. I don't really want staff education right now because I just don't want... I mean, I do want like the marine specialist training, zookeeper training. They don't actually have any zookeeper training. Wow. Okay. Am I going to need another maintenance worker? I don't know if I can modify the show whilst the show is actually going on. Because I think if I modify the show whilst the show's going on, it will end the show. There you go, the show's just ended, so... it's probably not actually in my best interests to make this show longer, because then the guests will be there longer, and therefore I'll have less shows. But then also, if the show is longer, then people come in late. But if the show's already sold out anyway, I don't think it matters too much. Right, we can put in belly flop. We've already got play with ball, jump, group jump, flip, tail walk. So we can put in belly flop and bubble jump. And then I could actually like double some of these up as well, so like put in another tail walk. And then like maybe another flip. Another belly flop. Another play with ball. Hoop jump. Bubble jump. Yeah, 45, that's fine. I really don't think it matters because, like I say, I've got 3 months and I've got, you know, 50,000 more, almost 50,000 more dollars than I actually need for the sake of the scenario. I'm actually kind of surprised how profitable this zoo is, in all seriousness, because, like I say, I'm not making any money with the admissions, but I guess it doesn't actually make that much money. Really? The exhibit's not big enough. Okay, so female, female, female. I don't think it matters much which one I sold off, but seeing as that was the baby, it's possible that this male considers these its mates. But I don't think Bison really care, so I probably could have sold off Bison too, but it's fine. Crocodile, tiger. I'm going to get another maintenance worker, because these maintenance workers are slow at repairing these fences. To be fair, they've had no training, which doesn't help. Like, it's not urgent, but... because, like, here, I don't think the animal could escape even if that was broken, but maybe it could, like, swim out and then escape that way. Okay, that's not big enough, so... let's sell... actually, you know what, let's sell off line 1 and line 2. 8 and 9 are babies, they're going to get sold off anyway. And then this... yeah, that's fine. Not enough shelters. God damn. It's quite ridiculous that I'm doing this when I'm only doing this because there's too many lions in the exhibits that are going to get sold off anyway, but unless you build an extremely large, unless you build like a ridiculous number of shelters, then even though the zookeeper will be like there's more shelters than necessary, unless you build like a ridiculously large number, it doesn't matter. If you do build way too many shelters in an exhibit, the suitability just drops to like 0, but that would be like, you know, I've got these 2 elephants here. If I built like 5 shelters, then the suitability would drop to like 0. It's weird, but, you know, it's kind of, stop building so many shelters, you silly Billy. So yeah, there aren't any animals that I can sell off. Oh, hang on. We've got a baby gamer's box, but I don't want to sell that off. So we've still got like a month and a half to go. And yeah, there's not really anything that I want to do. Yeah, that is actually a sold-out show. Unfortunately, I can't put like more grandstands. You know, I can't get more guests to come to the show. I'm quite impressed that we've got 332 or 333 guests, and yet the only complaint is that we've got 1 or 2 hungry guests, and they've both just gone to the show, and they're both presumably about to go to this restaurant because they're hungry. Per month, the restaurant is actually making more on average. But it is basically the same. The Animal Theatre doesn't make loads per month, but hey ho, 541, that's quite a lot. Elephant Ride only makes 200 a month, but hey, that's every little helps. Animatronic Theatre makes 200 a month. Yeah. The only other things I could have built maybe would have been like the Shark Tunnel, but I don't think that really makes much profit. You know, it might make a tiny little profit. The Swim Shack is always risky, because it can make huge profit, but I've also used them in the past and they like barely make a profit. Restaurants always make a huge profit. Carousel makes profit. Gift shop is a necessity because otherwise guests complain they can't buy a souvenir, and it does make a profit anyway. Yeah, 700 a month, that's nice. Animatronic Theatre does make a little profit, and Elephant Ride increases guest happiness and makes a little profit anyway. So yeah, I've actually earned, you know, like I say, more than double what I actually really needed to for net income. 86 benefactors as well, that's a lot. It might only be a small zoo, but this is a really good zoo, honestly. Only 86 zoo rating, but that's basically just because it's so small. And also I could like increase the zoo rating by probably changing these paths up, putting in some scenery, just increasing like general zoo value. Mind you, zoo value is at 270,000. But I think a lot of that actually comes from... I don't know if zoo value increases like available cash or not. I mean, like, guest happiness 94, animal happiness 98, well... Okay, saying that those don't like the exhibit, but that's just literally because they're on a show. You know, suitability is always dodgy when on a show. But fortunately it doesn't actually matter. Yeah, it's a bit weird. So, like, even if I didn't have the elephants, even though that's like 68 suitability, they'd still be fine because the suitability is measured by this actual exhibit, which is like 99 suitability or 96, even though they're in the show tank. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. 1 month left to go. I'm going to save the game. And, yeah, there's really nothing left to do. Unless, like, you know, I change up all these paths, or like I built another exhibit. You know. They're actually still researching stuff. I kind of forgot about that. I don't really need to be researching more dolphin tricks, but I guess we'll just research this one and then call it a day. I think the thing is there's no real point researching anything now, because by the time it's done, the scenario will have ended. So we've actually managed to make do without any zookeeper training. Like I said, Marine Specialist Training 2 just means that show tricks research faster, which is basically useless. Because you spent money to research this training to then save money on the fact that you research the tricks faster. And we also don't have any maintenance worker training. And we've managed to make do with no tour guides. Because normally I have tour guides, but I've managed to make do without them this time. Yeah, so as much as I'd love to research animal antibiotics, there's literally no point, because it's not going to be done in time. Wave to crowd... No, we don't need any more dolphin tricks. Yeah, so there's nothing left to research. Well, there is, but, like, we don't have the time to do so. So, the spin and this wave to crowd... It's weird that it has to research wave to crowd, and it's like the last thing that you research. It's probable that we'll never actually see spin in a real show, because by the time this show ends, it will probably be the end of the scenario. I'm really paranoid I've missed something out, because this was actually really easy. And I've seen people struggle with scenarios, so I'm kind of like... there must be some sort of catch that I've missed. But Bison just sort of phased through the ground there, that was a bit weird. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, the exhibit's not big enough, blah blah blah. Female. Let's sell him off. Or her off. So it's fine. Exhibit is fine. Whoa, okay. These guys are growing up now, so I guess we'll sell off that guy. We only ever really need one male. 2 females. Yeah, that's fine. Dolphin tank, dolphin show tank, we know what the situation is there. Gemsbok is fine, bison's fine, elephant's fine. When that baby grows up, which it won't do before the scenario ends, then obviously I'd have to sell it off because the exhibit would be too small. Coming up to the 2-hour mark on this video. So yeah, what will probably happen is when I get to scenarios where it's like a 3-year deadline, I will probably have to make those into 2 parts, because otherwise it's going to be like a 3-hour, 4-hour video, and that's basically like a live stream. I think 2 hours is okay for a video. It is pushing on long, but I've done 2-hour videos before, so it should be fine. There is also the issue of, like, you know, a 3-hour video would take up a lot of storage space on my hard drive. But, as it happens, we've basically won the scenario anyway. I mean, we won the scenario after about a year. You know, I didn't need to build the elephant exhibit, but I did it just kind of out of boredom and because I wanted to do something. Yep. Like 5 days left to go. Okay, so lesson learnt. Even though the scenario is like right near the end, I can basically only record up to 2 hours maximum, and then yeah, out of nowhere the recording just stopped because I hit the 2 hour limit. So yeah, this second part, if you can even call it a part, is literally going to be like 5 minutes because, like I say, we've won the scenario, and you know, there's literally 1 day left. Just go save the game again. Congratulations, you have won! Yay! Select yes to continue playing the game. Yeah. So, honestly, not a difficult scenario. Whether it would have been difficult if I'd have made different choices, or whether I just looked out, or whatever, I don't know. I mean, you know, I saved money by not having tour guides, only having one marine exhibit, and then having the dolphin show. Dolphins are very popular with guests anyway. Lions and tigers breed a lot, and they are popular with guests. Crocodiles, popular with guests. Having 2 restaurants, that obviously generates a lot of money. Not having like animal houses, not having like petting zoo, Japanese garden, things that just don't make any money. Not spending loads of money on researching things like animal houses or endangered animals, that obviously all saves money. And then obviously, you know, $45,000 from various awards. You know, I said I wasn't going to bother with guest happiness, and then I ended up with a guest happiness of like 95, 96. Even with like no zoo scenery and dirt path. You know, I've ended up with like, well, net income way more than I actually needed. And also the fact that you can make, there you go, 13,500 from the compost building. So also by the like extra 30,000 that you get just from like destroying all the starting scenery and foliage and stuff, because it does get in the way. No, it's honestly a really nice little scenario, and I'm quite surprised by how profitable this zoo is. I mean, it's only small, but it's actually a really good scenario, really good zoo. You know, 353 guests, 84 benefactors. Yeah, this zoo is actually enormously profitable. You know, sell off baby animals, get animals to reproduce, stuff like that. Don't research too much. It's actually unlocked dinosaur stuff. So yeah, the zoo basically just becomes freeform at that point. Yeah, no, honestly, a really nice little scenario, and I'm kind of surprised by how it went, because I really thought this would be a lot harder than it proved to be. Yeah, I feel like I've kind of given enough tips. You know, if you play the scenario yourself, I'd recommend getting a show. Don't go overboard with research or expensive exhibits. Make sure that the guests are happy so that you can get the award money, and that they spend more time in the zoo and become benefactors, so you get money from donations each month. And yeah, just kind of make quite a varied zoo. You know, don't just go for like animals that are like only from savannah or only from like the rainforest or something. Get popular animals like lions, tigers, crocodiles, elephants, if you need them. I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks. Have a nice day, and goodbye.